Hey, what's going on, guys? Can you hear me? Let me know. I'm just testing out this new thing. Oops. Just to keep everything in focus. And this one has to be. Why is it like that? I'm just trying to figure how to flip this camera because it looks weird to me like this. Okay, it's not working. So we'll just go with this for now. All right, let me know if everything is clear and you guys can hear me okay. How's it going, guys? So today I wanted to do this live chat, AMA, whatever you want to call it, market talk. I have eBay pulled up and look at this fancy background right here. This is how you know I'm moving on up. Look at that. So what's it called? This is as a thank you for 3.5k subscribers, and I'll probably do those like on an interval of 500 because right now I'm gaining subscribers like I'm barely getting anything. So it's going to be a good amount of time and good interval between every 500 subs. As it gets more and more, I get more and more subscribers, it's going to move on to like 1k, and then I don't know, if I blow up, we'll go like maybe one every couple of thousand. But just from right now, I could do like one every 500 because it seems like it's once a month or something like that, maybe once every couple of months. So yeah, first of all, how is everything going with you guys? We can do like kind of questions as we go, and what's it called? And then if you guys have anything specific, like recent sales or whatever, I have eBay pulled up behind me so that we can talk about that or look it up and whatever. So, what's up, chat? Hey, Strictly Sealed. Do you ever plan on collecting Mattel MF03 promos? So, okay, so there's some certain things that I like about Mattel, and there's some things that I don't. Number one, the cardstock, that hollow pattern and the glossy finish on the cards is not my thing. It's why I don't collect Duelist League. I don't collect any of those stuff. I just don't like the way that those cards feel. It just feels very fake. And because it feels very fake, it's likely very easy to fake. So, to me, having that kind of investment is a little shaky for me, especially because they're so expensive. Like, I picked up Cyber End Dragon, like that one's cheap. I think it's like $70, maybe $50. But that O3 ones are, it's just a little too much money for me to kind of spend like willy-nilly. I am interested in the toys though, like in the sealed toys. So I know there's somebody that has like the full set. I don't like, he wants like an arm and a leg. I'm not gonna pay that, but if the opportunity ever comes, I'll be very interested to pick those up and add them to my sealed collection, because those are more my alley. Like, they're a little bit, number one, safer, because the raw cards, number one, I know that they're rare, like I've been following them, but I don't know how rare. And the toys just seem to be a little bit more rare to me. I don't really see those pop up as often. So yeah, I'm kind of I'm hesitant on collecting the cards. I am interested in the sealed product, however. So if those ever surface, if those ever come up for sale, I'll be more than happy to kind of throw an offer at them. I mean, the guy that had the toys, I offered him 10 grand, like 10 grand for all 4 toys, which is basically 2K each. It might be a little bit low, but I just don't want to spend more than that. I just don't feel like they're that special. Um, Especially since some of them are like not even that great. Like I know that Burstinatrix and Flame Wingman and I think Avion doesn't exist, or Avion only one copy has surfaced so far. But even then, I kind of, like he doesn't have the Avion sealed. I think he has Burstinatrix, Blade Edge, Bubble Man, Flame Wingman, and maybe Clayman. I don't remember. I don't remember the fifth one. So I'll be interested in picking that setup, and I offered him 10,000, but he wouldn't go for that. So it's just not in my books, if that makes sense. So they're definitely interesting to me, though. I like them. I just don't like the raw cards because I don't like the way that they feel. So, yeah. Um, so, next question is: you need more collabs with your boy Sam to gain more subs, but yeah, it is what it is. I actually get most of my subs from my videos. Like, there's this tracker that lets you know like how many subs each video gets you. So, my videos do actually pretty well, like comparatively, but YouTube algorithm is more about the spamming, or like how like the more you can put, the better. Unfortunately for me, I have a very my taste is very peculiar, and I don't like spamming content, and there's nothing wrong with spamming the content. Like I'm not saying spam in a derogatory way. I'm just saying it in a way where it's like a style of uploads, where you upload once a day, and I'm just not a fan of that because I know what I watch. Like, I don't really watch pack openings. Like, that's not my thing. I actually like only watch like pack openings where it's like a really special thing, like a box, or like a MFC box or something like that. And it's nothing against pack openers. It's just not how I like to spend my time, if that makes sense. And some people they like that, and that's the kind of uploads that they put, and that's all the power to them. But it's just not my thing. Okay. So let me just full screen this so that fit this screen. Ah, I see. So when I do that, it seems that it flips the camera around. Okay. So we'll just do it manually then. Take that. I gotta lock the background. All right. There you go. Now you get the full screen experience. So it's just not my type of content. So because of that, I have to go the slow and steady route. And you guys see like my videos, they have a ton of editing to them. So each video takes me at least 10 hours. So when you're talking about 10 hours, that's a huge investment, and YouTube doesn't pay me anything. Like most of like the support that I get is like when you guys use my links to buy stuff. That's stuff that where it pays me a little bit, but even then, like nobody is crazy enough to do this. Like I understand why a lot of people are kind of getting deterred from the YouTube game. I mean, for each video I get maybe like $2. Like imagine that. It's a crazy low amount. But I mean, I know it's like a slow and steady thing. So it's definitely more for kids. Like you can't just, if you're a full grown adult and you just get into the YouTube game and you want to put out high quality content, unless you hire an editor, you're negging a lot with your time. Like I know that YouTube is, I'm negging a lot. But I know, number one, it's an investment, but number two, it grows the hobby, and number three, I kind of want my channel to be a resource for any whale investor that wants to learn about the hobby. They kind of can go into my product spotlight videos and learn all there is to know about said products. So that's kind of my goal with my channel. It's not really one that I want to kind of you know grow via spamming of videos, if that makes sense. And this means that my content is limited unless new information comes out. I mean, there's only a finite amount of information that I can cover on my channel before I run out and I basically ghost YouTube. But for now, I have a shit ton of work that I have to do. So, yeah, you know, I'm just waiting for the right time and for me to get enough examples of the product so that when I do the B-roll, it's not just like me putting up like stock images. You understand? Like you see in my videos, most of the product that I show in the B-roll means like the pans and stuff like that that happens as I'm talking. That stuff, what's it called? That stuff, I need the physical product with me. So it kind of gives me a little bit of time to, you know, prep for each video and stuff like that and gather information. So yeah, the Sam video thing, I mean, maybe one day I'll be I'll have like a good amount of subscribers, but for now I'm happy with what I'm at, and I'm happy with the growth that I'm getting. Like I think I get like 200 subs a month, which is not too bad at all. Next question is, do you collect OCG cards? I collect OCG cards that are kind of iconic, if that makes sense. So like the first Blue Eyes White Dragon, I collect that. I have the G3, which is the first Dark Magician girl. I have the Volume 1 Dark Magician, which is the first Dark Magician. So I have like the rookie cards, if that makes sense. I have the rookie cards of these monsters in OCG, but other than that, I don't really collect. Some of the ultimate rares are really great too, like SM51, LN53. I like those. I have LM53 and PSA 10. I graded it myself. I actually had the Red Eyes as well, but I ended up selling it because I got a really good offer. And so yeah, I like OCG. I just don't collect everything OCG, and I'm not interested in the prize cards other than the ones that have the iconic monsters on them, like Jump Festa Blue Eyes, G3 Dark Magician Girl, etc. But other than that, like Flamewing Pegasus, stuff like that, that's not my thing. All right, next, do you think SDK first at PSA 10 will dip under 10K? It's highly possible. I wouldn't put it past it, to be honest with you. However, a lot of people are not selling them. Like a lot more people are selling DDS compared to SDK, which is very weird because DDS is supposedly the grail, right? So what's up, dude? Camera quality looking crisp. Thanks, man. I worked very hard on it. It was it was a very strenuous project that I went on to fix this thing up. It says you need to change video resolution. Open widget. Are you guys seeing everything fine? Because if it is, then I'll just keep it that way. Maybe YouTube needs thing. What's up? It looks fine, I guess. Yeah. All right. Oh, my bad. Someone sounds like you skipped my question. Hey Omar, how are you doing? How's it going, my man? Would like to know what your take on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is, and did it have any impact on the market? So Master Duel looks great, honestly. I think that they did a really good job on it. I haven't played it. I don't really play video games other than League of Legends. I have a soft spot for League. Everything else, I don't really have the patience to sit there and play. If that I don't know why. I've never been the type to do that. Like even when I was a kid, like Pokemon Ruby, I invested a lot of time in it, but I bought Emerald. I tried to get into it. I couldn't. Bought Soul Silver. I played them. I just didn't heavily invest my time. Like I played the gameplay and then I was done with it. So even when I was a kid, I never really played video games. So Master Duel is the same case for me. I think the execution looks great. And I like the way that it's not just pay to play. I hope that Konami doesn't turn it into something like Duel Links, because that would be a bummer. As far as impact on the market goes, I really don't think that there's enough of a. I don't really see any impact on the market. I mean, it's not like way more things are selling at the moment. Maybe in the future it will have an impact on something like Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom, in my opinion, I think is a great pickup if you're into modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Like in terms of long-term investments. You want to put like $50. I don't remember what it goes for. I remember I bought one for $50 and I have it set back in my binder. But if you're looking for like an Ash Blossom, for example, to set for the long term, I think Master Duel will have an impact on that, because what's it called? Like, I mean, think about it. A lot of the people that played the video games from back in the day, they want to collect, you know, the Magnet Warriors, the dice from Eternal Duelist Soul or Duelist of the Roses or whatever. So I'm sure people will want to do that with Master Duel. So I think Ash Blossom is one of the best kind of investments for the long term. I think it's a very BLS level card where it has a lot of prominence because of how impactful it is. I mean, think about it. BLS never appeared on the show, right? I don't have a BLS PSA 10 because I'm not really interested in it because I never played the game when I was younger. But people still love BLS because it was so impactful to the meta. So I would say Ash Blossom is the same thing. Maybe Forbidden Droplets is the same thing as like Pot of Greed, you know, where people collect it for that playability. What's up? Camera quality looking crisp. Thank you again. Will you ever make a video showing how you clean cards for grading? I have some waxy scuffed alties I'm scared to touch without knowing what to do. So the reason I haven't put that one up yet is, number one, I don't know how to do it in good quality yet. And number two is I posted it on my Patreon, and those people kind of support me financially. And because of this, I don't want that content to kind of just leak onto YouTube easily without kind of rewarding them for their financial support, if that makes sense. So I want to give them about a year or so that they can grade their stuff, clean their stuff, clean whatever they need on the market, so that, what's it called? Then I'll probably upload it onto YouTube so that the rest of the public can do it. But I feel like I owe them the exclusivity because they financially supported me for those videos, if that makes sense. So hopefully that makes sense. Next, what's your process usually behind shooting videos? How do you plan it, and notes? So I have a checklist of products that I need in order to cover a video. And then the rest of it is basically, I just write down what I need to write. I'm like, I really need to do scripts. Like if I did a script, the quality of my video would shoot up to 100%. Like honestly, and number two, my editing time would drop significantly. The problem is I hate essays. I failed university because I hate essays and I refuse to write them. So because of this, I'm having a hard time making a script. So I don't know how I'm going to proceed after that. But if I did a script, I think it would dramatically improve my videos. But I hate writing. Like I really hate writing. That's why I didn't do a blog. Like I wanted to do a blog for Yu-Gi-Oh! But I was like, bro, I like talking more than writing. So I started making videos. But I definitely need to get into writing a script. But other than that, I basically just do a check mark of like all the points that I need to hit. And I just freestyle it into the camera, and hopefully I can edit enough to make it look decent and professional. Because trust me, like if you watch it without the editing, it is absolutely terrible. How many it's just like how I'm talking right now. Like you see how many times I say, does that make sense? If that makes sense. Whatever. I say that because my brain has to process what I'm saying before I say it. I'm not the type where I just talk without thinking. So I have to process what I'm saying, and because of that, I have to take these short stalls, and I have to remove that in the video. Otherwise, it's gonna be very dragged on. Like for example, like the GBI video, that was maybe like a 30-minute video. I had to cut down like 20 minutes of that to make it 9 minutes. So it's mostly editing. Like the editing is what makes the videos look the way that they do, because I mean, without it, it's pretty terrible. I couldn't even watch them. So, and I can watch anything information. Like for me, if you watch like my YouTube subscription list, it's literally all like informational videos. I don't really watch like anything like Mr. Beast or any of that stuff. Like I'm strictly like information videos where I'm just constantly learning new things. So yeah, like, I couldn't even watch that shit. Next, how come Ghost/Alti used to be cheaper back then, even though the pull rates were just as difficult as they were now? So number one, people didn't know. It was a lack of information. So it's things like, for example, how can well, to be honest with you, back then, even the big cards that were really hard to pull cards, they were still expensive. Like I remember back in like 2012, 2011, Stardust Dragon still being like head and shoulders above everything else. Now it wasn't in the thousands because number one, money was a lot harder to get back then, right? Like if you got paid $100 back then in the 2010s, before they started like the quantitative easing, $100 you could buy a lot. You know what I mean? Like you can buy a good amount. Now $100 barely fills up your gas tank. So what I'm trying to get at here is that inflation had a lot to do with it. So it's not just like you can't compare the price of back then to price of right now. No, that's number one. And number two, lack of information. Like back then, people didn't know, for example, that Shining Flare Wingman is short printed compared to other ultimate rares in the box, right? Like they didn't know that. So it's hard for them to invest more money into Shining Flare Wingman compared to something like Blade Edge, right? Because they think that it's the same pull rate. So because of that, I would attribute that as to why this happens. But that I would say that's probably the main thing that I would say is attributing to the price difference. It's just lack of information, and also a lot of people came back into the hobby in the past 5 years, right? Like there was not a lot of collectors still lurking in the 2012s, 2011s, 2013s, right? It's maybe like, even look on YouTube, right? You'll see Old School Expert, Simply Unlucky. Schlost allegedly was collecting back then too. So I think like it's just a huge amount of demand has come into existence in the past 5 years, right? Your art book collection video was amazing. I'm sure you have been asked before, but have you checked out Berserk? Thank you, man. So yeah, that I don't know if you guys have watched my recent video, but what's it called? Like my art book collection. Me and my wife put in around 30 hours combined together, like just shooting, editing, B-roll. It was like ridiculous. Like, I put in so much work. Like that clip where you see the animation, highlight reel, if that makes sense, or compilation. Like that took forever. so did like the film one where it was like you see like the Batman versus Superman scene and whatever. Like those took forever to make, right? To get the clips. Think about it, like you have to get the clip, download it, cut it, make it match and look the same as the rest of the clips, or make it like seem natural, like make the transitions look better. So that video took so long, and it's actually my least successful video yet. Like I have some videos from like 2 years ago that I randomly put together, and those did way better than the art book collection. It was ridiculous. That one was really heartbreaking, but that's how the market chooses, right? Like the market decided like that video is not worth it. So I have to just live with it. I can't force it. All right. So, but I appreciate you liking it, man. Thank you. And have you read Berserk? Yeah, man. I have the collector editions just right there on my shelf. I buy them whenever they come up for a good deal. I know they go for like 50 to 60 bucks. I usually wait until they hit like the under $30 and I pick them up. The problem is that they don't hit it in Canada very often. So I have to buy from the States and shipping's expensive. So I don't really, but I've read the whole story, like up to until he passed away. So I think it's an incredible story. I love Berserk. I love the rawness of it. And it's very esoteric. Like, it has a lot of occult significance in it. Like, he definitely knew what he was drawing. Next question. Are you ever going to make that YouTuber gaping mouth thumbnail? Because if it's not exaggerated or fake hype, I won't watch it. Yeah, I don't have that type of personality. Like, it's very hard for me to show a lot of expression. So I don't think it would be fitting for my videos anyway, because like I don't really yell and scream in my videos, so it's just not my style, you know what I mean? I'm not against it. Like, don't think that, you know, I feel like I'm better than, you know, all the other YouTubers that do it. It's just not my thing. Like, I'm not even like that in real life. You know, Sam even told me, like, when we were talking, he's like, dude, like, I never met somebody so mellow. Because that's, I don't know, it's just not my style. I don't do that kind of stuff. How difficult was it to find those 2002 Yu-Gi-Oh booster promo posters on your wall? I want my own. So these were actually quite cheap back in the day. You can find them for like $20. I bought all of mine for like $10 to $15 each because I bought them in a bulk bundle. Now that I think about it, I probably should have bought more. Like, I should have actually invested. But the guy had so many that I was like kind of uneasy about it. So I definitely should have bought more. The LOB one was quite rare though. The LOB one, mine, I had the mint one. I actually had two of them. So I bought the first one. So I bought two of them in one shot with the SDK one for $60 for all three of them. And then I sold one of them for like 500 bucks. I sold it to some Australian guy and had a rip in it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Prodigy ended up buying it from him. And I had a mint one in my collection. But I needed an MFC box, and this was my only ticket to getting one. So I ended up trading it to Yu-Gi-Oh! Prodigy for his MFC box, and I sent in like more stuff on top. Obviously, I won the trade because MFC has outgrown, but I have never been able to replace it with a mint one. So I'm sure the mintiest one that he has in his collection is mine. But the one that I have right now, I recently picked up maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. I bought it for like $100, but it's folded. So I mean that kind of loses a little bit of value and aesthetic appeal. But what can you do, right? Like, I'm not gonna pay $1,000 for it, knowing that I bought one for $20 just a few years ago. But yeah, I know that Chicago, whatever, they had a bunch of these and they were selling them like hotcakes, and all of a sudden they disappeared. Like, they just, I don't know, like, they had so many of them. Okay, the really rare ones was like AST doesn't pop up a lot, and what's it called, MFC doesn't really pop up often, and then AST doesn't pop up often. MFC recently sold for $1,000. But yeah, these posters, I got them all for like $10 to $15 each. Other than the LOB one, I paid maybe $100 for that. And my GX ones, I paid a lot more because those are significantly more rare. Like the Cyber Dragon, I paid like 75. Stone, I paid 60. Phantom Darkness, I paid, that one I got for cheap. I paid, I think, maybe like $50. Light of Destruction, I paid $50. It's significantly more expensive. Now I could probably get like maybe 100 to 150 for each of them, but I think long term, I think they'll do much better than the original ones because the original ones are just more abundant. Like GX is incredibly hard to get. What's the process usually behind shooting your videos? I think I already answered that. Sorry, I skipped it. I answered how come Ghost Alties. Your art book collection. I answered that. By the way, I really liked your art book video. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hey, Omar, one tips on selling cards. eBay. I just use eBay, man. Like I use eBay and my own website because I'm trying to get off eBay. Like I'm the type of person where I have no interest in supporting these big corporations. I will use them until I don't have to anymore. So I have plans to host my own videos on my own website so I can get off of Patreon. And then I will use eBay until I don't need it and I have enough traffic on my own website to sell, and I'll get off eBay. And then same thing with YouTube. I plan on having a kind of subscription based thing like in the next 5 years or so for my website where I host kind of my YouTube videos, or quote unquote YouTube videos on my website, and I release them on YouTube as well. It's just I release them earlier on my website, and it's maybe I'll charge like maybe like $2 or $3 subscription. I don't know, something like that, because I'm not interested in getting paid by these big corporations. I'm interested in making my own way, if that makes sense. So that's why, because I don't like people telling me what to do. You know, I don't like people giving me content strikes or telling me not to say something. Like, no, don't tell me what to do. So I have to make it my own, and that's kind of the goal. I just need to build up a bigger audience on YouTube in order to hopefully be able to fulfill my goals on my own website. But I mostly use eBay and strictlysealed.com to sell at the moment. And Instagram. Like a lot of people message me on Instagram or they email me and they're like, hey, I'm looking for this. I'm offering this. I'm like, sure, no problem. It's yours. I have one. And I just sell it to them. That's usually the best way to go about it. Do you have a main job or just YouTube? I don't get paid by YouTube, bro. I make $1 a video. I make $1 a video on YouTube. My main job is like buying and selling Yu-Gi-Oh stuff at the moment. I had other jobs. I just got fired because I don't take a certain medicine. What role do you play in League of Legends? You strike me as a Lulu, man. Nah, I play Zed. Zed, Lux, and I'm trying to learn Syndra at the moment. But what's it called? My main is Zed. Like my username is Zedvantage. So like Advantage, but Zedvantage. So yeah, that's my main. And my second, like when they ban Zed, I just go with Lux. But I haven't been playing her in a minute, to be honest. Is Ruxin one of your biggest / important customers? Nah. I don't really sell to Ruxin anymore because I sell to him like wholesale. Like for example, if I get a good deal in and I want like quick cash and make my money back real quick, I usually send to him and then he either opens it, or he sells it on his website for somebody else. Sorry. But that I don't really deal with Ruxin too much just because number one, he's so busy. Like he takes like days to reply to me and it just doesn't work out like that. So and I get why. Like I remember Pokerev shot up like crazy back when he had like 40k subs. He stopped replying to people. It was funny. I got to your channel through Team Samurai thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh collection and investing videos, and suddenly you hit me with sound money, inflation, and taxing is crime. That's what it is, man. That's what I'm about. It's just my type of for me, my goal, like I told you guys in my previous streams, my goal is to be able to provide enough valuable information that people would be they would feel like they should donate, because I want to work on a donation basis. I don't want to keep working on a commerce, because I'm trying to not pay these politicians any more of my money as possible. And if you go through the donation process, you don't pay anything because it's a donation. So the idea is that I'm trying, even if I take a pay cut, like even if I'm taking like a massive pay cut where I basically go living on the street, if honestly, like I'm a genuine person like that, when I say something I really mean it. Even if I have to take a huge pay cut, if I'm paying less taxes to those politicians, I will be happier. So that's kind of my goal. My goal is to be able to provide enough information to do that. So I have to work on myself more. I have to work on my platform more in order to attract the right kind of audience. And that's why I don't do like certain types of videos where it's like I'm yelling and screaming, because I'm not interested in attracting this audience to my channel. Like, and there's nothing wrong with them. Again, like there's nothing, it's just not what I want, right? Like what I want is most important for this channel because it's my channel, right? Like people can do whatever they want on their channels. For me, I need a certain type of audience that is a little bit of a higher minded thinkers, if that makes sense. So yeah, and if it doesn't work out that way, maybe I'm using the wrong resource, but I found myself loving Yu-Gi-Oh! While at the same time trying to reach my higher self. And if I can't find that in Yu-Gi-Oh!, then I'll just shift to another type of thing, right? Like I'm not a tree, right? I'm not planted into the ground. I'll just move if I see that what I'm doing is not working. Yeah, your videos are very streamlined. They seem very efficient through editing. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It really means a lot when you guys show this love. Like honestly, like you guys see, like in my videos, I don't ask for subscription. I don't ask anybody to like or whatever. So it really means a lot when you guys just organically show this love. Honestly, thank you very much. It deserves way more views. Maybe you can re-upload it when your channel finally pops off. Maybe. I got a Ghost Rare Rainbow Neos recently, and I find that the Ghost Rare effect on that card really lackluster. It's very hard to see the actual artwork. And it's overall very dark, not a lot of color. Yeah, so Honest, actually no, Honest was a little bit better. Actually, I have a copy of Honest. Do you mind getting it for me? That's my wife. But Rainbow Dragon, Chaos Neos, and Rainbow Neos, they're very, very ugly. Like that, the holo is very, very bad. So, what's it called? So, like the idea is that I think they upped their game either with Honest or Duelist Genesis, one of them. But like the Duelist Genesis holo is much, much better than the original ones. Actually, the Duelist Genesis is better than the ones that came after it, like Photon, Shockwave, and all those other ones. Yeah, Duelist Genesis was much better than those ones. So, yeah, like, that's all I have to say about that. That's why it's like that. Let me see. Honest. Yeah, see, Honest, they improved it a little bit. Like, I have one right here. It's not as 3D-ish as something like Majestic Star Dragon or Black Rose Dragon, but it's better than Rainbow Neos. I totally agree, though. Like, especially Rainbow Dragon. Like, Rainbow Dragon is so bad. What's the best Yu-Gi-Oh product to get started with selling? I have no idea what you mean, man. What do you do as a day job? I just buy and sell Yu-Gi-Oh at the moment. If I get like a better opportunity, I might move to that. But at the moment, I think Yu-Gi-Oh does enough to sustain me, and I don't really need a lot to sustain it. It says my stream status is poor. Why? How is it appearing on your end? I'm joining your Patreon. Gold of the King's Hand. You're a fountain of knowledge. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Like turn it off. Okay, see. Oh wow, dude, this looks great. Why are they saying it's poor?
Probably because you mentioned something you shouldn't have.
No, probably not.
That was a joke.
Your quality is unmatched, to be honest. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's see. Ash is dropping to say your channel's quality inspired me to up my game on YouTube and invest more in beautiful shots in my videos. Thank you, man. I might check out your channel too if I right after the stream. Ever thought of starting your own Yu-Gi-Oh only platform for the community to sell on? I don't think it's big enough. I think TCG Player does a really good job. And actually eBay, to be honest with you, although eBay is kind of getting ridiculous with how much nonsense they're trying to pull, like with this every card has to be graded or like authenticated by CGC, like that's a bunch of nonsense. But I think TCG Player does a really good job. I just wish they had a way to post pictures. Like I don't understand how you could buy a Stardust Dragon in near mint condition, pay $2,500 for on TCG Player, and you have not seen a picture. Like that takes some serious balls. So I think I would only sell my own stuff. Do you think picking up Asian English 5D stuff is worth it? Stuff is really hard to find. I think there's only two, right? There's Raging Battle and Crimson Crisis. I like both of them. I would recommend you. Yeah, I mean, if you can find them, they're rare. Asian English stuff is extremely ridiculously rare. Your website is clean. Did you do it yourself? Yeah, I did it myself. Do you think something significant will happen in 2023? I don't know, man. What's it called? I think. Oh wow. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Um, the Patreon subscription. Thank you so much. Wow. In terms of 2023, I definitely think that if the interest rates drop, or get raised, we're in for a very long recession. Do you think early reprint sets DB1, 2, DR1, 2 will ever be more appreciated? A lot of high-end rarity cards from those sets are harder to pull than their original releases. Yeah, as somebody who's tried to collect DB1, DB2, and DR1, DR2, I can tell you that if you want them in mint condition, good luck. Like that is like, I have the binder right here actually. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 times 9. That's 36. There's 36 hollows in this. That's and it's the same ratio as like LOB. So LOB has 22 hollows. This one has 36. I mean, I think that's pretty disgusting, to be honest with you. It's really difficult to pull. So, in terms of slept on, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, we would have to see the originals rise to an astronomical height before DB starts kind of rising. I do think DB products are underrated because that shit doesn't really pop up. It doesn't really, except DR1. DR1 is quite common, but DB1, DB2, DR2, DR3, those like forget about it. I can't even find them from my own collection. So I like the sealed product more than I like the actual cards. I also quit my job due to certain medication. Yeah, I mean you had to prepare yourself in the past year to so that you don't so you don't get caught with your pants down, you know what I mean? Do you think the Yu-Gi-Oh vintage market will eventually surpass peak 2020 levels? Maybe in 5 years. I think it will pass that. You're gonna have 20, 30K by the end of the year. Easy. Thank you, man. I just have to keep posting more. That's the problem. Like, it's just so hard to edit more. Uh, um, like editing is quite exhausting, and I got my wife on there, and shout out to her. Like she picked it up like so fast, like so fast. Like just literally watching me edit one video, she was able to do it herself. So she helped me with uh, like she's helping me with the editing, and it's still quite a lot of work. The B-roll is quite tough. Like B-roll is quite annoying. But I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna try. Like my goal is to go one video a week, and if I miss a week, 2 videos a week. So yeah. As an analyst slash investor, do you have any tips processing a lot of information? Write it down if you can't process it. Like write down what the note is, and yeah, I mean that's kind of the best thing to. I don't really write down stuff, but I also don't retain everything. Like for the amount of stuff that I have consumed, the information that I provide is basically like maybe 5% of everything that I've, because I just can't retain everything. So you might think that I'm super like smart or whatever. It's not. It's just I don't retain a lot. It's just I consumed so much that I'm able to have more than the layman, if that makes sense. Because most people, they don't put in like maybe 1% of the work that I've done in terms of just learning. So yeah, that's why it seems like I'm ahead of my time, but I'm not. I've just consumed a lot of information. Is your wife Middle Eastern too? No, she's not. How'd you meet your wife? Wasn't trading card related? No, she doesn't do trading cards. She doesn't know anything. Well, actually, she knows a little bit now that she's helping me with the business. But I met her at volleyball. Like I met her 19 years old when we were 19. Yeah, I met her when we were 19, and now I'm 28. So it's been 9 years. It ain't poor, it's rich. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. YouTuber server couldn't handle the ghost on it. Oh shit. Can you still see me?
Did it die? No. It's gone.
Okay. 1 second. You guys probably can't see me, but you can hear me.
No, the webcam is down.
I think yeah, it's quite hot. I think the camera overheated, so I'm gonna switch to my laptop camera. Hopefully you don't mind the drop in quality.
Can we unplug this?
Sorry?
Can we unplug it?
No, I need to, while I'm doing that, I'm gonna drop the quality of the camera so that it goes down to from 4K to 1080p so that it doesn't die. I'll do it right by myself.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, you guys can probably hear me. You guys can't see me, but now you should be able to see me.
Yeah,
So,
you're on now.
okay, this is my webcam from my laptop. Hopefully it's okay. YouTube server couldn't handle the ghost share. Thank you. Did you move to a new place yet? No, I'm moving March 2nd. Strictly just went from PSA 10 to PSA 7. I'm moving March 1st or 2nd. Card market actually allows for sellers to upload pictures of cards, so that's something. The problem is nobody does it. That's the annoying thing. Like I went on card market, every time I have to ask for photos and they take so long to send. It's so annoying. It's quite annoying. There has to be a way to upload things quicker. Like I think a good invention would be like if you have like a scanner or something that you can put cards in and then it just feeds through real quick and uploads them. I think that would be really that would be a home run. What's your take on the recent crypto crash? So the crypto crash is just like every other thing that just crashed recently in the past couple months. People are liquidating. what's going to happen right now, in my opinion, okay, this is just my opinion. So there's inflation, which is basically the printing of money. There's deflation, which is the removal of money from the system. And then there's disflation, which is basically prices stabilizing, and people think that inflation is going away. And I think that's what's happening right now. I think we're going through disflation, where people are looking on the shelves and they're saying, oh, it's not rising anymore, or it's not rising as fast. But what they don't realize is that it's still rising. It's just a lot slower. And usually that happen. That's why you have something like the crash that happened in the past couple of months. And if you look at the 2008 crisis, you'll see the exact same thing, like literally the exact same thing, like major volatility. And it happened around 6 months before the 2008 crisis. Does that mean that this is the future? I have no idea. But I definitely think we're overdue for a recession. So that's just my opinion on that. Do you think Obelisk Slifer will ever get ghost shares? Yeah, I think that they will get it. Yeah, only Raging Battle and Crimson Crisis was trying to pick up a Power Tool Dragon with the guys asking 10k. 10k? Is it PSA 10? Joined Glory of the King's Hand too. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Where are you from in the Middle East? I'm from Syria, but my father's Palestinian. What is your thoughts on graded Yu-Gi-Oh packs? I think I like the idea. I just think we're not there yet. I don't think we have enough, or at least the grading companies doing it don't have enough information to be able to grade packs. And that's my thoughts on that. I think I wouldn't pay too much. Like if okay, number one, what the hell's a PSA 10 pack and PSA 9 pack? Like literally, what is the difference? Like unless there's a clear rip, what the hell's the difference? So because of this, I don't I don't understand like the whole PSA 9 grading thing, but I do think that there is room for authentication. Like I did a video on my Patreon about boxes, right? And on I do think that boxes do need an authentication method. I just don't think that the companies are doing it right at the moment. And I think every card game will need its own main guy to do it, and hopefully maybe that will be me in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh. No, the webcam is down. No. Yeah, I know. But now it should be fixed. Strictly just went from PSA 10 to PSA 7. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm sorry everything is washed out. I don't know how to fix that. How tall are you? I'm 6 foot. LMAO. Nah, it's like PSA 8 max. He said he had an offer of 6k for the power tool, but he wouldn't show me, so. Nah, that's not worth it, dude. Like, I wouldn't pay that. I wouldn't pay more than a regular North American card. Let's just leave it at that. I think it is rarer, yes. But I don't think that it's on the same level as a regular. I don't think it's on the same level as a regular Ghost Share. Do you think PSA 10 Ghost Shares like Black Rose Dragon, Stardust Dragon, and Ancient Fairy are investable and unlimited for the future? It depends what you're paying. Okay, I think it depends on what you're paying. What I mean by that is, if you're paying the same price as a PSA 9 first edition, you might as well go for the PSA 9. If you're paying the same price as PSA 7, then PSA 10 Unlimited is better. But I don't think that Unlimited PSA 10 rivals PSA 8 or 9 in first edition. Hopefully that makes sense. Is it worth to invest Ghosts from the Past 2? Will it be a money back? I have no idea, man. It depends like how it depends how the release goes. If like for example it's very easy to pull the key cards, then the sealed product will go higher. If it's hard to pull the key cards, then you got to go with singles. If you had a raw card that you without a doubt know there's no possible way it could get less than a PSA 10 graded, what would you sell it for raw considering you don't have interest in grading it? PSA 9. That's what I would sell it for. Because you're not going to be able to get PSA 10 prices for raw. You'll never be able to do it. Unless it's like a prize card. Even then, it's very unlikely that you'll be able to do it. Will we see more openings from you in the future? Keep up the consistently. Love it recently, brother. What's it called? So I don't think I'll do openings. Maybe if I need something for the binder. So like I am thinking of opening this voice Rarity over there. But in my brain, I'm like, do I want to drop $300 on a video that I will make $2 for? If I get to a point where, you know, I'm making like $100, $200 on a video, I don't mind paying it. You know, I don't mind buying like a product and opening it for the opening. But I do not want to be an opening channel. Like that's not my goal with this. I want to be, like if I'm opening something, it is it's for science. All right. Like if I'm opening something, it's for science. It's just like those ancient fairy dragon tins that I opened. It was not for, it was not just to open, it was for science. With 5D's ghost rares from the first 4 sets that don't have first ed booster boxes, how would you rate them from best investment to worst? Okay, well, first of all, it's not the first 4 sets. It's basically Duelist Genesis, what's it called? Crossroads of Chaos, and then there's actually Raging Battle, and then there's the other 2. So Raging Battle is actually in between there. So it's not the first 4 sets. That's a quite common misconception. Raging Battle was released before one of those 2, like Stardust Overdrive or the other one. I don't remember which, but I do know it was released before them. I don't know why Raging Battle has booster boxes, but the other ones don't. But number 2, I think that in terms of popularity, I think Stardust Dragon will be number 1. However, the hardest to pull is Black Rose Dragon. Black Rose Dragon is the most difficult ghost rare to pull. And then you have, what's it called? And then you have SOVR ghost rare, and then you have the Ancient Fairy Dragon ghost rare. There's a lot of sealed product of Ancient Fairy Dragon. Like, for example, I have like 700 packs myself of Ancient Prophecy First Edition. So, although I love that card, and I mean, look, 700 packs means like I have 3 ghost rares, maximum 4 inside there. So it's not like I have a ton of product that will flood the market. That's the thing about ghost rares, that it's so difficult to pull. You know what I mean? So you're safe regardless. Even if there's a huge flood of the thing. It's all about demand. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, the supply is there. The low supply is there. Like you'll be very, very you'll be very safe with the supply. It's all about the demand. If there's people that care about the game, you'll be fine. If there is no people that care, then that's where you're gonna have an issue. Okay. So yeah. Also, he just corrected himself. I didn't say the first 4 sets. I apologize. Sorry about that. I made a mistake. That's usually what people say to me. That's why. Did you buy the dip and another dip? And will the next one? Yeah, I mean, I bought some. I've just been buying like slowly. Like every week I buy a little bit. I don't buy too much because I don't want to overextend, but I have a pretty good position already in my opinion. I'm happy with what I have. Do you think GX Secret Rares will have the same hype as the original Duel Monsters cards one day? No, you will not have that. Except for the main ones, like Grandmaster of the Six Samurai. I think Grandmaster will hold a really good value in the future. Hey Strictly, seeing you showing love to the DSOD Dark Magician Girl on your Instagram. I own the reprint gold edition in PSA 10 First Ed. Would you consider the gold version not valuable in the long run? I think you might find a buyer for it. It's like Dark Magician Gold, you'll always be able to find a buyer for. The problem is, how much you paid and how much you think that you want to see a return for in the future. And so yeah, that's kind of like my advice. I don't think it will be as much as the ultra rare, because the ultra rare is the first printing, and even someone like me who barely collects modern, like I have no interest in modern, it is a card I picked up, as well as the Lost Art. So I don't think that you'll be able to attract someone like me, but you will be able to attract a simp that likes Dark Magician Girl, that wants to own every single one in PSA 10. Now, how often that will come by, I have no idea. So it's all about how long you're willing to wait. Are you getting in on the graded video game market, currently going to the moon? No. I got into the video game market. The video game market is truly what made me the most amount of money compared to everything else I've done. Like, I got into sealed games. Like, I bought like 4 or 5 copies of Pokemon Red for like $200, $300. Like, that's how early I got in. All right. So I did not call anything better than what I called on the video game market. Like, I was just looking at the Yu-Gi-Oh, the Pokemon market blowing up. It was the sealed Pokemon market, like the booster boxes, and I was like, how the hell is a Neo Genesis box $10,000, and then a Pokemon Red is like $300? I was like, how is that even possible? And that's when I started picking them up like left and right. I sold a Pokemon Ruby 95, VGA 95, as well as Pokemon Emerald 90 plus, as well as Sapphire 90 plus for 85. No, actually it was $110,000 Canadian. Imagine that. So and I bought that for maybe like $3,000. All 3 of them. It's just disgusting. Like, I got in super early. So no, I'm not getting in right now, because I don't buy when people are greedy. I buy when they are fearful, and that's when that's usually when I do my best. I see. To be honest, I like the specific aspect of your channel has, so I see your point. You should do an exhibition or museum with all your vintage Yu-Gi-Oh products. I would travel from Germany to see all these treasures, dude. Thank you, man. I might do a video on it one day. I did it on my Patreon, but it was very heavy-handed. But I showed basically a lot of what I have. Next is, I saw your breakdown of the 10 rings. I would like to know, how do you achieve balance between the feminine and the masculine part of the brain? And do you have examples of people reaching that balance? So there's the Kundalini, okay, which is basically through a lot of meditation and a lot of, or if you want to force it, through drugs, or not drugs, like maybe enlightening drugs. I don't want to say drugs like people think cocaine. However, what's it called? If you want to keep it in a practical realm and not go into like the spiritual realm, the best way to do it is to put principles first. All right, like, for example, all right, theft is wrong. All right, if you want to go off balance into the feminine aspect, you're gonna basically say, no, theft is wrong. It is right if you're helping somebody poor. Okay, now you've gone left brain imbalanced. All right, because now you're emotionally tilted in this direction, and all of a sudden you're not able to keep first principles in your mind. Like, principles comes from the Latin word. I'm not even gonna butcher it, but it's a Latin word that means first things first. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind whenever you're deciding whenever you're making a decision. So in order to not go off balance, is to keep first principles first, and that's the best way to do it in a practical sense, right? Like, you don't want to get emotional over anything, and you don't want to go where lack of emotion on anything, and go the other way, if that makes sense. So that's how you keep them balanced in a practical sense. Now, in a spiritual sense, that happens on the inside, and I can't really tell you how to do that. That's something that you achieve on your own through long meditation processes. Cato, do you feel modern ghost shares, as far as who can reach it, it's not like a destination. It's a journey, right? Like you always, like, the balance is here. It's like a tightrope. There's no end to it. You just live your life trying to stay on the what's it called, the on balance. It doesn't mean that you don't mess up, you don't slip up. It's something that happens to everybody. Nobody's perfect. It's just you always try to steer back, or you ask, right? Like sometimes you don't know what is the first principles of this thing, and you ask and you try to hear other people's opinions, and hopefully that will be able to help you form the right decision. Do you feel modern ghost shares can be even considered in the same vein as true collector cards? For example, I personally don't like the ghost share raw at all, as it doesn't have the OG look to it. Yeah, I don't consider it. Like for me, the line is drawn in 2013. Like I will not collect anything after 2013 unless it's like original art Dark Magician Girl. Like that's kind of my collection bias, and that's where I break my rule. But I don't buy anything after 2013, because 2013 is when they shifted. They brought the first edition down to the bottom. They extended the text box. They extended the title box. What's it called? I don't. That's not a real Yu-Gi-Oh card. I have a huge prejudice against those. So no, I don't consider any modern cards like collectible ghost shares. So, but that's just me. Do you feel modern, next question, which sets do you think the market is currently interested in and showing demand, and which sets do you see the market demand move towards through 2022? I think as more and more time passes, more and more interest in GX will come, because right now the bread and butter of the Yu-Gi-Oh market is the vintage Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's where everybody's flocking. And as more and more time passes, more and more eyes will be set on GX, because either you already completed vintage or you are priced out of vintage. So one or the other. If you look at Pokemon, for example, the EX era, it didn't crash as hard as the vintage did. Why? Because the EX era is number one, shorter in supply, but number two, it didn't see the same hype as vintage did, or WotC. Ivan, could you imagine getting into old school OCG cards? There are many great cards we didn't get. Maybe, like I don't mind collecting binders, but I don't buy PSA 10s of this stuff, because again, my PSA 10s are just investments. I don't really collect PSA 10s other than the Dark Magician Girl PSA 10s. So I don't really care for them, to be honest. I'm a raw collector at heart. So I definitely see myself collecting them like in raw form, but I wouldn't buy graded. Like I don't give a shit about graded OCG cards. What 5Ds ghost shares do you think are currently undervalued? I think Black Rose Dragon is undervalued, to be honest. Just my opinion. I think Black Rose Dragon is undervalued. I think all of the main ones, like before Shining Darkness, so Crimson Crisis, Shining Darkness, and Power Tool Dragon are underrated. And yeah, that's my opinion on that. Do you know why the sets SOD through CDIP don't have secret rares? I've been reading so much and can't find a thing. Well, it's because they introduced ultimate rares and they wanted that to be peak rarity. And that's what they did, right? That's they decided that was the they decided that was the next step or next evolution, in the words of Victor, for all you Arcane fans. But yeah, I think that they just decided that this was the better choice for ultimate rares. Now I like secret rares. I think secret rare is the best rarity ever released in any TCG. I've said that many times. I love the way that they look. and what's it called? Yeah, I mean they brought them back, but I think it was a little too late. Also, it's because they also shifted them to promos. Like, think about it. When they got rid of secret rares, where did they go? It's not like they completely ditched it. It's just they shifted them to tin promos, to starter deck promos, whatever, and that's what they decided. Like, even till today, secret rares are basically the same. They're basically the same thing. They're basically what the hell was I saying? I read a stupid comment, and I kind of lost track. I forgot. Do you think that Yu-Gi-Oh can still reach out to kids and teenagers like in the past? And what is the overall life expectancy as Yu-Gi-Oh as a trading card game? All right, so I don't think that it can. I see maybe another 20, 25 years for Yu-Gi-Oh, and unless the game continues, I don't see it reaching to kids. They have a really hard time uh, attracting they have a really hard time attracting new audiences because the game is so damn hard. And that's the thing about power creep. See, like this is a problem that Konami has that, for example, something like League of Legends doesn't have, because League of Legends has power creep. But the problem is that League of Legends is software based, and because of this, for example, Alistar, if you guys know what I'm talking about, Alistar was a shit champ. It was a great champ on release, and then it became shit with all the power creep, and every single new champion has like if you read Alistar's skill sets, you can combine all of them and put them into Samira's passive. All right, so there's a huge power creep between Samira and Alistar. But the thing is that because it's software, they can just edit Alistar and make him a completely new champion just by reworks. With Yu-Gi-Oh, they can't. With Yu-Gi-Oh, they need to, what's it called? They have to reprint a card, and this is why you see Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon, you see Blue Eyes whatever Dragon, and so on, Azure Eyes, whatever. They have to do that because they can't just change Blue Eyes. All right, and that's the main problem. Like, they tried it with erratas, but even erratas, it doesn't really help that much. Like, you can't really change a vanilla Blue Eyes White Dragon into an effect monster through an errata. Okay, and this is the main problem with card games, is that because they're in the physical realm and you can't just erase the past of the Blue Eyes White Dragon card. It's basically this is the main problem, and that's why card games die out, because they have this problem with power creep. And this is the main problem as to why Yu-Gi-Oh can't attract newer people. Is because the game is so damn hard. Like, dude, I don't know how the hell to play this damn game. Like, what the hell's a Link? What the hell's a Pendulum Monster? You know what I mean? So it's very difficult to bring to erase mistakes. First of all, like, you cannot, like, if you fuck up on a, like, for example, I'll tell you something. Again, we're gonna go back to League of Legends. Riot made a big mistake in the, what's it called? They made a big mistake in the Chemtech Dragon that they released in the past few months. They completely got rid of that. In Yu-Gi-Oh, they they have the ban list, but that's the best thing that they can do. You know what I mean? Like, that's the best thing they can do, right? Like, they released Chaos Emperor Dragon, they're like, holy shit, we fucked up. They had to completely get rid of the card because there's just no way to fix a mistake in the physical form. Okay, and you know, there's merits to that you have a collector's market, you have all these things, but at the same time you have a hard time you know, fixing power creep. So that's the main issue. Which secret rares do you rank the highest? I think Grandmaster of the Six Samurai, I think Eradicator Epidemic Virus, I think that's pretty much it. I don't even remember any other cards. That's how you know it's so lackluster. As I see a Levi figurine in the back, do you enjoy the new season so far, and did you read the manga? It's actually Eren. It's not Levi. And yes, I've finished the books, and I love the ending. As a radical anarchist myself, I love the ending. I think that it's very fitting. I do not have a problem with it. And yes, I enjoy the new season. We're gonna watch like all 4 episodes today for my sister's birthday. Dude, I feel the exact same way about the new look of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. First, the shifting of the first ed and limited ed text, and then the horribly long text change at the bottom, right, looks so uncanny. I agree. I think that they really lost their way after 2013, and because of that, I don't really regard new cards as like anything I would look at. Oh, shit. Someone commented Judgment Dragon is a prime GX. Yes, other than Light of Destruction and Phantom Darkness, because Light of Destruction and Phantom Darkness, they put the best cards as secret rares instead of as ultimate rares, while in the other ones they put them as the ultimate rares. Oh, sorry, what the hell am I talking about? Glass. Right here, these are the biggest cards in GX. These two right here, and look out for my new video on Gladiator's Assault. I'm working on it right now. These two are the hardest set cards to pull ever. Like, there's no set card. This is Starlight Rare difficulty. Imagine that. But this was released in 2008. All right, so just keep that in mind. This is 2007. Starlight Rare pull ratio, but released in 2007. So, yeah. But yeah, I think Gladiator's Assault, the 5 secret rares are number 1, as well as Dark Arm Dragon, Judgment Dragon, Grandmaster of the Six Samurai. Those cards are really good. In my opinion, I think that those are the most investable GX secret rares. What the hell am I talking about? Like, I don't know how I forgot Gladiator's Assault. Gladiator's Assault is truly a specimen in literally troll level pull rates, like literally troll level. Gladiator's Assault like had, dude, Magic Formula, even on release, it was a useless fucking card, and it got $100 price tag. All right, imagine that. On release, like, that makes no sense. What's your appraisal on PSA 10 Blue Eyes Unlimited OG and SDK? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't collect Unlimited, but if you're paying more than like $1,000, you're getting ripped. Which one's your favorite God card in terms of artwork and anime? I like Obelisk. I love Obelisk. I like portrait style cards. I like where the card is like either like Summon Skull and stuff like that. So that's why I like Obelisk the most. Power creep is alarmingly similar to inflation in terms of how it works. Yes, they have to. Also, pull rates. Like I discussed this on my Patreon. Pull rates is a way of counteracting inflation, right? Because you have to sell more product in order to complete the set, right? Like, or you have to buy more product in order to complete the set. So for Konami, in order for them to combat inflation, and for example, like if you look at 2002, a booster pack was $2. Now the booster pack is $5, I think. It averages out to $5. And because of this, I mean, that's already 150% increase just inflation wise. But even then, in order to stop the inflation more, what they do is they have to print more, they have to order more, and thus they have to sell more. And in order to do that, you have to be able to create higher rarity ratios. That's why for example, in 2007, they brought back the crazy insane ratios. It was during that financial crisis, because they need to sell more product in order to sustain, or at least make sense of all the extra printing, right? Like, I mean, if for example we had LOB ratios, 22 card set, I mean, that's easy. You buy a case, you're done the whole thing. With Gladiator's Assault, you basically have to buy like 3 cases almost in order to complete the set. I mean, which is absolutely disgusting. Like, it's actually disgusting. What the hell were they thinking? Jeez. Are you into the NFT space? No, I don't. I don't really. Like we had a live yesterday on IG, and what's it called? We were talking about it. I was learning more from a gentleman that was on there explaining it to me. Gregory, shout out to you. And I understand the thought process behind it. I just um I just don't see the I can't grasp the virtual world. Okay, like it's just not something that I'm able to grasp. When do you think League was the best version of itself? Most fun to play? Um, I think right before they buffed Baron. I really don't like when they made Baron what's it called, like empower the minions. Like I hate the fact that you have to hit these minions like 100 times before they die. Like I just don't like that. I never liked it, and yeah, I never thought it was a good idea. So I think right before then, because that's the only complaint I have right now, other than them nerfing the shit out of Zed, which is they're a bunch of hoes for that. But other than that, what's it called? I think that everything else is okay. I hate Baron. Yeah, that's it. Or at least I hate what Baron does to the minions. Uh, Yu-Gi-Oh should have made a different game for each generation instead of forcing it on top of the existing ones. Yes, well, they're gonna try and bring that back. They're gonna bring back formats, which I really like. Like for me, I think Yu-Gi-Oh peaked at Edison format. I remember playing it. It was right before Insectors, and I played the shit out of Insectors, man. Like Insectors was so broken. It was like troll level broken. But I loved Edison format. Like I think that it's quite underrated. I think it's better than Goat, to be honest with you, because in Goat you have to have Change of Heart, you have to have Pot of Greed. In Edison format, those are all gone. So there's no staples other than the synchros, which is your extra deck. So that I really enjoyed what's it called? I really enjoyed Edison format. That was actually when I played. Like I didn't really play OG format, so yeah, I enjoy it. I played I played Gladiator Beast. Actually, I never really had money to be able to buy any of the cards, so I played like on that virtual website. And that virtual website, it's like it was great. Like I played up to Insectors, and then people just started rage quitting when Insectors came out. So, and I understood it. Like I mean, I played it, and I could tell that it was it's fucking annoying. That card was like $100. Insector Hornet. I remember I wanted to buy it just for shits and giggles. Like after it got limited, but it's like $100. I think Judgment Dragon is prime GX sauce to invest. I agree. I think Judgment Dragon is, I would say it's top 10. I think the Judgment Dragon is good for investment purposes, like if you played the game, because that was like the boss monster of Light Sworns. And then Phantom, the other one is actually more investable, like Dark Arm Dragon, not only because it's more playable, but because it's OC as shit all the time. For some reason, it's always OC. Yo, what's going on, Solemn Yu-Gi-Oh? How's it going, my man? What's unlimited magic formula PSA 10 glass worth? I don't know, but that's a European only card. You're not gonna find unlimited magic formula because it was short printed in the United States. So if you're buying an unlimited magic formula, it's most likely European. Like the one on eBay right now is European. The one that's for like 10,000. I don't know what it's worth though. Like it's whatever somebody's willing to pay. I really liked your Attack on Titan vid on IG. Yes, I thought that soliloquy was probably one of the most memorable for me, and it was one of the most the one that resonated with me the most. I just thought that there's only two PSA 10 first edge Sheins, or did I do something wrong? I have no idea. Are you talking about like the synchro card? I have no idea. What do you think of PSA 10 BLS IOC and PSA 10 Chaos Emperor? PSA 10 IOC as low pop, potentially worth more than they're currently over time. The problem with those two is that they're play cards only. They're not anime significant. Chaos Emperor appeared, but it was like in a background duel. Like it's not really as serious. That's the problem with them. It's why I don't have them in my collection, because again, I never played the game, so those cards mean nothing to me. And to me, I'm a anime collector only. What's some of your favorite personal uncommon / unpopular old school cards? I really like Baby Dragon from MRD First Ed. Yeah, dude, Solemn Yu-Gi-Oh is just he's the GOAT, man. He's the he's famous, so I can't really I have to fangirl that he's here, man. No, but seriously, if you haven't checked him out, I don't know what you're doing. Like, this guy is some of the best YouTube videos around, honestly. Highest quality stuff. But my favorite uncommon card is basically Baby Dragon. Like, imagine that. It was an anime card, super significant, and it's one per box. Imagine that. Like, one per box. Like, what are they thinking? Honestly, like, it's actually troll level releases. Like, why would you make a common card one per box? It's a super short print. Is the Warner Brothers promo card of Sanctity the rarest Yu-Gi-Oh card in existence? I have no idea what that even is. I have no idea what that is. If you had to guess, what people within the Yu-Gi-Oh Insta community were primarily focused on profit over collecting? Anytime you're talking about cards that are over $200, you cannot ignore the price. Okay, like you can't just say, "Oh, I'm just collecting." All right. Like I don't know. I can't do that, honestly. I can't just look at a card I paid $1,000 for and just say, "Oh, I'm just collecting." I mean, dude, that's somebody's rent. That's my rent. I pay $1,000. You know what I mean? So, I think it's quite childish to expect people to not think about profit, or at least, you know, accumulation of value in the cards when they're paying over $1,000. When it comes to, like, you know, raw like $10 cards or penny stocks, that one I can understand. But again, I don't blame people for worrying about the money. I mean, I I'm not well off enough to say, like, you know, don't don't care about the money, only care about the product. It doesn't mean that you buy for profit only, but it does mean that you do take it into consideration, if that makes sense. All right, next. Would you consider yourself a gamer? No, I'm not a gamer. Not even a little bit. I don't play games. I don't play card games. I don't really. I just have a hard time. I don't know why. Also, I realize that I'm actually, unless I'm really dedicated to I don't. Okay, look, I'll tell you something. I made an observation when I was younger. I realized, like, when I played Pokemon, okay, I was the type that was like, I get level 100 on Blaziken, and then I have an HM slave, which is basically things that I just give HMs to, and I had 4 other Pokemon that are basically just fillers, so that I revive my Blaziken and I put it back into the fight. I did not build a team. I did not do any of this stuff. And I don't know if it's because I was stupid, or I am stupid, or I'm just not strategic like that. But I realized that a lot of people did do that, even when they were my age. So maybe I'm just not built to be strategic like that. I don't know. Although I found that in my regular life, everything I do with a plan. I don't really do things just spontaneously. So I don't know if there's a conflict there when it comes to gaming. I'm just not a gamer like that. But I noticed that about myself, and I look back and I'm like, dude, I was a fucking idiot, man. Like, who the hell just powers their Blaziken to level 100 and then they take on the Elite Four? That was the type of person I am. Like, I don't regret it, but I don't know if that makes me stupid or not. um, so no, I do not consider myself a gamer because of that incident with Pokemon. Even League, like it took me so long to actually get it. So again, I don't know if I'm just not gifted at gaming or I'm just naturally stupid. I personally never got the hype around Dark Paladin corrected artwork. The portrait artwork is like my favorite artwork in all of Duel Monsters. So beautiful. I agree with you. I think that the error artwork is the rarer of the two in PSA 10, while the corrected art is the rarer of the two in raw form. Um, wasn't BLS in the anime a lot with the My Valentine Duel plus the Dragon Master Knight? That's the ritual monster. It's not the BLS envoy of the beginning. Solemn's YouTube is doing extremely well with Master Duel content. Haha, good for him. Ride that wave. Yeah, I don't blame him, dude. Like, I mean, I don't blame him for capitalizing on it. Good for him, honestly. If there's one person who I would want to kind of succeed, it's him because I watch all his videos. Like, honestly, even when he did the investment ones, I would watch all of them. And I know that it's not the one that most people watch because again, um, most people on YouTube are simpletons, right? Like they're not people who are like they're fully there, so they're not gonna be as interested in things like what Solemn Yu-Gi-Oh has to put out, right? And that's why he was growing so slowly in the beginning. But good for him, honestly. Have you seen the error boxes of the new Grand Creator set with 2 times collector rares per pack? What? Oh wow, nah, I've not seen that. That's pretty cool though. Especially if you have a case of that. Oh man, like those booster boxes, I would not even sell right now. I would just keep them sealed for a very long time. How many sealed old school boxes are still available to buy and how many are forgotten in storages? I couldn't really tell you that, man. That's I really don't know. I know there's a lot in my storage though. So wasn't BLS heavily used for years in the TCG? It was, yes. It was. It's still used right now in the GOAT format. Like I'm not saying that BLS is. I'm just saying it doesn't have anime prominence. Will you upload the live stream as a vid later on? Yeah, I'll definitely upload it. Blackluster Soldier Envoy beginning was never in the anime. BLS Ritual was in the anime. Yes. Did you get all 5 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! R manga from the video you posted the other day? Nah, I only have 3 and 4. I know number 2 doesn't have a manga in it. It doesn't have a card in it, so I don't care about it. And then the first one has Thunder King Ryo, which is like wait, is it no, it doesn't. It has like that other card. I don't remember what it's called. But I got that one in raw form. I bought it raw form. I didn't open it. And then number 5 is very difficult to get, apparently. Like, that's what people are saying. Favorite Yu-Gi-Oh characters, also including villains. I like Yami Yugi. I really like Yami Yugi and I like Kaiba. I hate the kid Yugi. Like, that guy's such a pest. Shut the hell up. That's how I always felt when I watched him. Do you believe Konami has a lot of leftover first ed LOB, Meta Raiders, etc.? No, they don't, because Konami never had them. It's Upper Deck that had them. So yeah, Konami doesn't really have a lot. Any idea what to pay for a sealed Blue Eyes Jump Secret? There's no such thing as a sealed Jump Secret. It's sealed in the magazine, but the sealed Jump one is ultra rare. It's not secret rare. Another Omar Solemn Yu-Gi-Oh video collab. Super down to watch that. Maybe, man. I would love to go on his channel. Like, I'd love to contribute to his page. I just don't think that I'm able to anymore because of like the path that his channel has taken. It's interesting how ultimate rares change through the times from Duel Monsters to GX to 5Ds to modern. They change them constantly. It's weird. Well, that's because Upper Deck owned the original Ultra Print, Ultimate Rares. Like they changed them after Upper Deck lost the rights to printing cards. Like the Ultimate Rare border is Konami exclusive. So yeah, you can't even compare 5Ds with modern foiling texture. Is just different. Yeah, that's only after Shining Darkness. It started anything Shining Darkness and before, they're the exact same. What's your top 3 favorite booster boxes? I like Magician's Force, I like Metal Raiders, and Legend of Blue Eyes. Talk about not opening boxes. I remember opening a case of First Ed Lost Millennium for fun in 2019, and 3 boxes of each of Power of the Duelist and Cyberdark Impact. My urge to open packs is crazy. I was the same way, man. I just got it out of my system. Like, I got it out of my system when it was cheap. Like, I bought I bought a Cybernetic Revolution case for $1,000, and I opened that like the absolute dumbass that I am. I opened all of it. I pulled one Cyber End Dragon out of 12 boxes. Favorite original Takahashi card artwork. Mine's probably the Summoned Skull and the OG Slifer artwork. I also think you should do more content with Solemn. That one DMG video podcast was awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And my favorite artwork would be Buster Blader. I really like the sword behind his back starting like that. Just badass. Bakura. Bakura's alright. Have you ever watched any of the Yu-Gi-Oh movies? Bonds Beyond Time or Dark Side of Dimensions? I watched all of them. I think they're okay. I mean, they're dumb movies, but they're nostalgic. And again, I don't like how they changed. I don't like how they changed the Dark Magician. Like, you see how like the Dark Magician hat it has how do I call it? It has these accents, right? When they changed those, oh, actually, when they started adding those, I started not liking the design. I'm a SDY only Dark Magician collector. What life lessons did you learn from Yu-Gi-Oh so far? 0. other than friendship is what is what is what makes you win duels. How many? Oh, or do you mean like collecting Yu-Gi-Oh? I learned to spend within my means. I learned to never overpay for shit, stuff like that. That's what I learned. Are you a fan of Zexal? My favorite character is Kite. I've never watched Zexal in my life, man. So I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I think that's the one with XYZs. I don't know. I played it. I played back then, like with Utopia and stuff like that, but I never watched the show. But I heard as TV shows they're better than the original Yu-Gi-Oh, because the original Yu-Gi-Oh, I mean, it didn't set a very high bar. it's one of the stupidest shows you ever watch. But I mean, I understand the appeal. Which sets do you find have the most difficult alties to identify? Oh. Which sets do you find have the most difficult alties to identify or overlook as just an ultra instead of an alti? I found when looking at binder cards, some are kind of weirdly affected by glares. Yeah, Cyber End Dragon is hard to tell in North American. The reason is because it's an ultra rare. Like, I would say Cyber Dragon as well, but because the super rare is black letters and ultimate rare is gold letters, that's how you can identify it. But in terms of looking at the picture, you can't really tell ultimate rare, Dark Magician. You can't really tell ultimate rare Cyber Dragon versus super rare. To be honest with you, it's very tough. Another one is That power of the duelist, Dark Neos. Dark Neos is hard to see. Yeah. Anything that's ultra ultimate is hard to see, basically. Because, again, the ultra rare lettering is the same on both cards. In the super rare, it's a lot easier because, again, it turns from black letters to gold letters. Damn, he didn't even learn Heart of the Cards after 20 years. I had Heart of the Cards taught to me by my grandfather. Your favorite ultimate rares that are undervalued. I think Test Tiger PSA 10 is undervalued. People don't know how hard that card is to get. What other card? Everything is appropriately valued right now, to be honest with you. Like everything. This thing right here. Hold on, let me see if you can see it. This right here. This card, people don't know how hard that is to get. Like, this card is very difficult. Horus is underrated in PSA 10. Yeah. How long has it been? All right, we'll give it another 15 minutes and then we'll call it a day.
You missed the question.
Did I? Have you ever looked at a Yu-Gi-Oh card and thought to yourself, is there occult symbolism encoded in it? Yes, pretty much most Yu-Gi-Oh cards are like that. Let me show you guys. Let me show you guys one thing real quick. All right, so how do I do this? Oh, you've seen it. You know. Oh, no. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna show you guys the goodies right now. All right, so let's go to google.ca. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys real quick. Alistair the Invoker. Okay, this guy right here. Okay, how can I show you the full size? Okay, this card right here. This is a representation of Aleister Crowley, or probably the the biggest demon of the past like 150 years. This is very, very. He had a lot of philosophical work, but Aleister Crowley, I'll show you. Crowley, this guy right here. He's a very high level occultist and a big demon of the past 100 years. But anyway, the way that I know that they are representing him, okay? So I'm going to show you Book of the Law. This is his book right here, okay? It's called the Book of the Law, all right? You'll see right here, what is this symbol right here? This is the seal of Orichalcos. Now, if we go back to Alistair the Invoker, let's see if there's a large image real quick. You'll see on his hand right there. That's the seal of Orichalcos right there. All right, now this book right here, all right? I'm going to show you the Book of the Law, all right? Now, I have to write Yu-Gi-Oh because right here, take a look at that. They literally called it the Book of the Law. I mean, they have no problem showing it in plain sight because most people are so uninformed. But this book right here is the same book. Look at it. Is the same book as Alistair the Invoker. It's the same book that Alistair the Invoker has, right? So the creators of Yu-Gi-Oh definitely know what they're doing. Don't get it twisted. They definitely know what they're what they're putting out there and what they're showing the public. So like yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to show you that real quick because that one's quite revelatory. How and when did your relationship with Team Samurai started? I honestly don't remember how it started. I honestly don't remember. I just know that the first video I did with him, I met at Dolly's, but I think maybe he messaged me or I messaged him. I don't remember at all. Honestly, I no idea. There's occult messages / symbolism in many anime. Yes, there is. Yes. What would you say is the top 3 hardest cards to grade in PSA 10 to from LOB to LODT? It's probably the Gladiator's Assault Secret Rares, Dark Arm Dragon, Secret Rare. Those are the lowest pop, at least. What would you be doing for a living if you couldn't make a living from Yu-Gi-Oh? Probably working a part-time job until, or a job like a sales job probably until I'm able to make it on my own again. Like I don't know if I'm be able to do Yu-Gi-Oh for the rest of my life, but for now it's been able to provide a good amount of wealth for me, and I use that to fund future projects so that my income doesn't ever stop if Yu-Gi-Oh stops. There's also a card called Crowley, the Magistus of Grimoires, which is the same character at a different age. Correct, yes, you're right. I've also known about Aleister Crowley since I was a kid, but I consider him strange more than demonic. I mean, read up on what he did. That's how you. that's how you know. That's how I got my opinion of him. I mean, again, I might be wrong, but this is just what I read about him and what he's done in his lifetime. There is a monster called Simorg, which is an ancient Persian winged beast creature. Yes, there's right here, the winged phoenix of Nephthys. Right. This is an occult name. Nephthys is the name of the mother goddess, or one of the triune gods of the godhead. Horus is the son. He's the son of Nephthys. The creator is symbolic for the other godhead. Like this 3-part set right here is what's it called? Yeah. What is your definition of tradition from a philosophical point of view? So traditions, there's 2. Okay, so let's answer this one. I'll answer the next one, and then we'll probably call it a day, I think. All right, so the first question is, what's your definition of tradition? So there's 2. There's the colloquial meaning, which is basically you do things for no reason. Like, people celebrate Christmas without knowing why you do it. Okay, people celebrate whatever for no reason. That's a tradition. You do things without thinking. And then the second reason, or because it has a nostalgic feeling to it, right? Like you do things, let's just say you had dinner on a certain date, and then you keep repeating that every single year because of a nostalgic feeling. So that's the first meaning of tradition. You do things for, like, you know, reasons that are simple, okay? And then there's the other tradition, which is basically an initiation process that people go through in order to acquire the same information that the people that your ancestors had in a short amount of time, so that you can hopefully add on to that and then pass it on. Okay, that's another type of tradition, and that's on a more occult understanding of what tradition means. So you understanding what your ancestors have to teach you, and then you are able to pass that on to the next generation so that they can learn it faster than what your, so like basically you add on what you learn in your lifetime, you give it to the next generation, and then they pass it on to the next generation, and so on and so on and so on. It's so that you don't have to repeat the same process over and over again. We learn from the people before us. And frankly, that's very difficult for people to understand, because most people think that our predecessors were like half-baked cavemen for the most part. All right, even though we are considered the Iron Age, they are considered the Golden Age. We are basically the lowest out of pretty much every civilization before us that existed. We are at the bottom of the barrel. But anyway, what do you think of the statue scene now? How were you able to get such good deals? Honestly, I just looked at the market like all the time, and back then, it was profitable to be able to, you know, buy a statue on the lower end and then sell it for more later on. Now, obviously, the market has crashed. Now, if you're buying retail, you're basically getting ripped off. Back then, it was like if you can get it for retail and then sell it for the aftermarket price, you were doing well for yourself. Um, Now it's the other way around. Now you have to get it for below market, and hopefully you can sell it for a little bit more, but still below market, because I mean, the statue scene is just way too saturated, and the edition sizes are just ridiculous. Like, imagine, like, I don't know if people do Yu-Gi-Oh and statues at the same time. I know Shane does. Shout out to you. But everybody else, they probably don't. But imagine if every Yu-Gi-Oh pop had like 3,000 in it. I mean, basically the cards would be worthless. That's what happened with the statue scene. And how I was able to find good deals, I'm just really good at that, man. Like that, honestly, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a gift that I have. I'm able to sell really well. Like, I'm able to buy at a good price and sell for a better price. This is why I think I should go into the stock market, because I think I would do really good. But I've been kind of holding out. What if you have some super rare Dragon Ball Ichiban Kuji statues that are limited to 100 in the world? You think they'll eventually be worth something? No, because Ichiban Kuji just re-releases but in different colors. I don't like that. For some things that they will. So for example, like if they release the original art of Luffy, for example, like I have one that is like basically Gear 4th, where he's like, you know, like the Snake Man. I have one like that, and I gave it to my buddy. His name is Jack. I gave him that figure, but that one rose in price because, number one, I have an eye for this thing. Like I said, it's a gift. Like, I'm able to look at something and I could assess value pretty good. Okay, not a lot of people can do that. A lot of people actually used to ask me, like, how you're able to pick out what is a good statue that's going to go up in price. Like, I called, for example, Iron Man Mark III exclusive, Thanos on Throne. I called these things because, not only because I called Magneto, actually, back when people were like just flipping them. I bought 5 Magnetos back then, before before it blew up in price. And I don't know why. I just have an eye. I could see it. I could see people are gonna want this later on. Okay, and it's just, that's how I do it. Like, I don't know how. I don't know what it is. Maybe I have good taste, and if I want it, usually other people want it. But that's how it happened. Like, I did it with SDK back when SDK was worthless. Like, I bought so many SDKs, PSA 10s. At one point, I had like 25 of them. Back when they were like $200-$300 to $500 a pop, I had like almost 25 of them. And I knew like people are gonna want this. And now it's obvious in hindsight, but back then, people like they don't really they never really cared about it back then. Back then it was just LOB or DDS, LOB or DDS, and I just saw that and I was like, okay, this is gonna be worth money. And I did it with a video game market, same thing. So again, I don't know why I can do this, but I'm just very good at it, and I want to see if I can do it in like the housing market, because I'm pretty good judge when it comes to like seeing a home and be like, okay, that's a nice home. If that makes sense. So yeah, I maybe if I accumulate enough capital, I'll be able to transition into the housing market. Would you spend? You say you spent the majority of your day / time looking for deals / online / locally. It was before. Now, I either let the deals come to me. Well, I have a method where I showed it on my Patreon, where I basically have this type certain bookmarks that I do and stuff like that. I showed the method of how I do it. But now I'm trying to focus on YouTube, because I really want this to take off in order to, because I know that I have really good information to give, if that makes sense. So I feel like instead of just waiting until, the Yu-Gi-Oh market dries up, I think I should try to create more avenues in order to, what's it called, in order to monetize my abilities, right? Like, I can't just rely on Yu-Gi-Oh for the rest of my life. Just like how I couldn't rely on statues for the rest of my life. Now, I exited statues at a good time, but I what's it called? I don't know if I can keep doing this, right? Like, I got lucky with cards, and I don't know if I can keep doing that over and over again. Maybe I can, and I'm just discrediting myself, but I would like to give, I would like to make a revenue stream that is reliant on my brain, because I feel like I have a pretty good brain that with a lot of good information that people can use. And I can provide good insight for them. Would you say you spent and then really enjoying your live streams? Thank you for that. Started watching today right after work. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, and thank you for your support. I miss your commentary on the statue. See, nobody has filled the void that immortalized in stones left when it comes to the depth of knowledge. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I mean, dude, you've been following me for so long, and it really means a lot, man. Rest in peace to Victor and Lou. Like, those guys, they were the ones who like stood by me when everybody was bashing me as like a flipper. They're like, "Oh, this guy's just a flipper. Ignore what he's saying." And those guys stood by me the whole way, man. Like, literally until death. So honestly, rest in peace to those two brothers. And yeah, I mean, I still have a couple of statues. I have a Ryuk over there. I have a Game of Thrones throne over there, and I recently bought a Dragon Ball Z statue that I thought looked really amazing. But yeah, so what you're saying is I should hold on to the double chance Kuji limited 100 Shenron and kind of just make up the price, because not many people realize it's rarity. When I mean make up the price, I mean just putting a stupid price till the market blows up. That's usually what I do. When I don't have a market price, I just put it at a really high price, and I hope somebody makes an offer for something reasonable. Yeah. I still have this from my statue days. This one, I had the Mjolnir as well. But Mjolnir, I put up on eBay for like 5,000, and then somebody bought it. I was like, bought it last year. I was like, what the hell? So that one had to go. But this one, I never ended up posting, because this is a pain in the ass to sell. Like, honestly, this is a huge pain in the ass to sell. So I never bothered, like, even doing it. I remember, now everyone's flipping. Oh, what do you think of the new Jon Snow on throne piece? You mean by Prime 1? Let me check real quick. Let's take a look at it together, actually, while we're here. Might as well. Transform. How do I make this? Okay. There you go. I think you mean by Prime 1, because I remember seeing that. Jon Snow, Prime 1. Fuck that. Shit, that's gorgeous. I always liked Prime 1's pieces. Like, I always thought Prime 1 does an amazing... They do an amazing job on the... What do I call it? It's the presentation of the statue. Like, the idea behind the statue, I think they always put in really good job. The thing that I don't like about their statues is that they're made of clear resin. Now this one I don't think is made of clear resin, so I think it'll do great. It's all about how well they do with the portrait. Now from what it shows me here, I mean sorry. Let me go back to interacting. Like from the portrait here, I mean it looks pretty good. I mean as far as resin portraits go, it looks pretty good, and the paint job looks really good. Look, the paint job looks very Berserk-esque, and I really like the paint job that they had on Berserk. Honestly, shit, like this piece is badass. I mean, if this show didn't flop, I probably would have had a statue. I mean, I have the Game of Thrones from Gentle Giant, but I mean, this looks incredible, man. Like, I mean, what can I say? I don't like the Blitzway one that they did with like the dragons, like the Khaleesi one. The Khaleesi, I didn't like that one because the portrait was off. But this one seems simple enough that they can pull it off. But it looks gorgeous. I mean, dude, it's badass, man. Honestly, I mean, what can I say? I want to get it and commission a Robb Stark and Ned Stark portrait as switch outs. But the problem is you'd need to get rid of the long claw, right? You'd have to put what's his face? The other sword. I forgot his sword's name. But I know that one's long claw. You'd have to get rid of that one. Did you watch the new Matrix movie, and what's your take on it? No, I haven't watched it, but I do want to watch it. If Freedom Fighter, if you're interested in learning the person who taught me the most about my philosophy, message me and I'll link you, because he did a breakdown on it. And this gentleman, I cannot thank him enough. He truly enlightened me. And yeah, just message me and I'll send you to you can check out his work. It's absolutely incredible. Honestly, like, it's one of the most amazing resources of knowledge that you will ever come across. So message me and I'll send you him, and you can check his work out. He did a breakdown on the new Matrix film. This is just me, but do it your way to grow your channel. I feel without a script would sound more genuine and relatable. You don't need to copy others. Stay unique and practice speech to improve, not forcing it. Yeah, what's it called? I mean, the problem is that my type of videos are more documentary based, which is why I'm saying the script. I don't do script for this. Like, this is right from the hip. So what's it called? Like, I don't do that for these lives, and this is where people can get to really see who I am. But yeah, I will. I mean, I'll try. I mean, I don't think I'll be writing essays anytime soon, so screw that. Yes, I'm hoping it switches out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can pull it off, dude, that's pretty badass, man. It's pretty badass. I really know what Dragon Ball statue you bought. Oh, I'll show you. I think it's called Yo-Yo Dragon Ball. Hold on. I think it's called Shenron. It was so cheap. It was like $300. I was like, depending on the size, I mean, look at this. Holy shit, man. This is a masterpiece right here. Yeah, when I saw this, I was like, dude, this is like centerpiece quality. Holy smokes. I wish I can show you more pictures. I can't click though. What the fuck? Oh, it doesn't let me leave? Okay, fine. That's kind of stupid. But yeah, this is the statue. I bought this, like, look how big that is for $300 value. Actually, it might be $380. So $400. Still value. Look at that shit. So sick. And it's not something that they can mess up on, right? Like it's not like a portrait that they can fuck up or whatever. So yeah, like look at that. But yeah, anyway, that's I don't know why I just impulsively bought this one, but yeah. Should have bought a couch instead. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. Yeah, I appreciate all of you guys watching, and I don't know how many people I have on right now, like 15, 16. Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for dedicating your time to even listen to me. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next live stream, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you again. Take care, guys. Peace.